years of rock hounding, I've collected some very weird and unusual rocks. And one question I have when I collect these rocks is, if it looks like this on the outside, what could it look like on the inside? So today we're gonna find out. I'm gonna go through my collection of years and years of rocks that I've found rock hounding, pick some out, cut them open, and see what's inside. So let's just grab these guys out and see what we got. All right, here are our contenders for today. Now this first one is really quite interesting. When you get it wet, it actually looks almost more green. So I'm wondering if it's like a type of renite or something like that. It makes me really curious what could possibly be inside. So let's go cut it open and find out. Okay, so we're just gonna ignore the fact that it's a completely different day. And let me tell you, the strength it took to not look at these rocks for a full day was very difficult. So the reason I had to wait a whole day was because my slab saw kept like switching or flipping the breaker and turning everything off. I have no idea what was happening. So I had to ask my husband. And then I also reached out to High-Tech Diamond and they got back to me like right away and are sending me a whole new motor for my slab saw. It's amazing. I love them as a company. Also, if you want to check out slab saws, you can check them out at High-Tech Diamond. I have a code for 10% off, but that's besides the point. Anyways, my slab saw stopped working and I had to wait, and then I finally was able to cut through the rest of the rock. Therefore, it's another day and my hair's straight and different. So let's move on, okay? Okay. All right, here is the first weird one. This one, like I said, has a lot more green on it when it gets wet. So let's see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, it's like suctioned together inside. Ready? Ooh, all right. Oh wait, a little bit right down there. I thought it maybe looked like Vans, but I don't think it does. That is interesting. I have no idea what this rock is. I would say that the outside kind of matches the inside. It doesn't look too much different, but that's what was in this first one. Let's see what's in the second one. Now, this next one is really interesting. If you look at it closely, it has a bunch of almost like nail marks on it. Isn't that weird? To me, it almost reminds me of a chert, just because some of this peeking through looks gray like chert does, but the outside is just so interesting and so unique that I have no idea what could be inside it. So let's cut it open and find out. All right, so this next one, like I said, looks very chert-like. So on the inside of cherts, usually it's kind of like a milky gray type look. And so let's see what's inside. All right, here we go. All those little nail marks. I'm hoping that some of that is on the inside. All right, ready? Here we go. Wait, what? Wait, what? Dude, are you... How is this? This is an agate. What? Oh, no way. That outside literally looks like chert. What? I feel like I didn't even see like any, maybe right there, but again, that still looks like chert right there. Dude, that is so cool. What? I was not expecting that. That is so great. How was that not a chert? Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. And look at those little black dots, all the little agate pockets. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was wonderful. I loved that one. Okay, this next one is a really interesting rock, and it's similar to one that I found on one of my TikToks a while back, and it looks like this. Okay, this side looks even better. Do you see all of those tiny little dots? Now, I asked in my comments, like, what is this rock? And it was similar to this one, but it was a little bit smaller. And people were like, it's gotta be a fossil. Maybe it's fossilized bubbles. Maybe it's, I don't know, this, that, or the other thing. I have no idea. The one back then I had way before I had a lapidary machine, so I wasn't able to cut it open, and now it just kind of sits in my collection. But this one is big enough to cut open. So let's cut it open and finally see what's inside. Hey, it's your girl Agate Ariel. Now before I show you what was inside that absolute beautiful and weird looking rock, I just had to tell you that this video is sponsored by me. Okay, yes, I know, I'm sorry, that was very corny, but look, the rock buckets are back in stock. Now these rock buckets have all kinds of beauties that I've personally picked off of the shores of Lake Superior and all around Minnesota. They now have even more agates inside them and will include at least 10 ounces of genuine Lake Superior agates. You're also going to get several other pounds of rocks that I've personally picked here in Minnesota. That could be jaspers and cherts, weird rocks like this, rocks that you can tumble, use for a rock garden, anything that your heart desires. So if you're interested in a rock bucket, head on over to my Etsy and start your own rock hounding adventure. Let's get back to the video and see what's inside this weird rock. Okay, this next one was like a years-long itch just to see what would be inside this kind of bubbly, fossily looking rock. I'm really curious to see if those little bubbles are on the inside. So let's take a look. All right. I really hope I didn't ruin this one by cutting it because the outside looks really cool. Okay. Oh. Okay, that is pretty neat. Look at that. Oh my gosh, the bubbles are inside. That's so interesting. So that black there almost looks like, when it's cut like this, looks like dendrites. I don't know. That is really interesting. Kind of looks like butterflies' wings, doesn't it? I don't know. A lot of them end up looking like that, but that's, wow. And I think it's kind of weird that like the outside, they look black, but the inside circles are like the lighter color, except for a couple of them. But all right. Okay, you just know that when I saw this one, I was so curious as to what this thing could be. It has like this red that, I don't know if it's stained from something or if that's literally just part of the rock, but the rest of it looks very like sandstone-esque. So I don't know, but I am super curious as to what this could look like on the inside and if that red is really just surface level or if it does run throughout the rock. Let's check it out. Now, even though this one was big, it was really quick to cut through because this, I believe, is mainly like a sandstone or a limestone. So let's see what it looks like inside. Ooh, it does go through. That's so cool. I was not sure. I really thought that maybe this was just some sort of staining on the outside. But that red does run through and that actually looks really cool. Oh, it looks like sloth eyes. Okay, hear me out. Does that not look like sloth eyes? Like the red, ooh, almost dropped it. The red in the middle. Do you see the vision? I see the vision. That looks like sloth eyes to me. No one can tell me different. That's cool. Oh, wait. Hold on. That doesn't look like sloth eyes, does it? Oh no. Okay, well, we're gonna close that one up because I find it slightly inappropriate. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, these next two, I'm thinking that I want to cut together just because they're pretty similar and both of them are types of basalt. This one here is more vesticular basalt and this one is, I don't know, it's kind of like a vesticular basalt, but all the holes have been filled in with olivine, I believe it is. But this one is kind of more empty and has more like little crystal vug pockets, like right there. You see that? How there's just little crystals and that really tiny one right there inside. Can you see those little crystal vug pockets? So I'm really curious to see if this one or this one looks similar on the inside or if we're gonna find something completely different. Okay, for this one, we got the twofer. So let's see what's in both of these. Okay, let's do the smaller one first. Also, it's crazy when this one gets wet. It's like a lot harder to see. So let's see what the inside looks like. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Oh, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at the color on that. I was not expecting that at all. Okay, that one's really cool. All right, let's look at this guy. Wow, I'm still shocked at the other one. This one's got that green olivine. I know, I'm sorry. I think I might be saying the wrong one, but the green color on the outside. And again, when you get it wet, it's like harder to see almost. Let's see. Oh my gosh, dude, this one is so pretty too. What is with these weird rocks looking so cool on the inside? Oh my gosh. The greens on there, that is beautiful. Okay, I need to compare this one. Look at that. That is so cool. I'm really glad I cut these together. Like, do you see how they're like similar? They've got that like green bubbliness. Wow. Okay, loved these two. That was amazing. Okay, this rock I wanted to throw in just because it is pretty plain Jane on the outside. If you look at it, it looks just like a white rock. But if I turn it here, you can see a little bit of maybe some of that chert. What I'm assuming that this is either a chert or a flint. Both of the names represent something similar. It's just the color that's different. Typically flint is more of like this white, but the inside has that gray. So I don't know. I'm really curious. Is this going to be white on the inside and completely boring, or is there going to be something cool in it? Okay, I still can't get over that other chert. That wasn't a chert, that was an agate. So here's another chert, and now I'm like, what's this one gonna look like? Because again, the outside looks very chert-like. But I don't know now. So let's take a look inside this one and see what this weird rock contains. Again, very plain, very just kind of normal looking on the outside. Let's see. Ooh, okay, that looks like chert. Yep, this is what I was expecting. Still really cool though. It's almost like tubular chert. Wow, that is kind of interesting. But this is what I was expecting when we looked at this one. Like, do you see how they're very similar? So sometimes cherts look like this, and let me show you. This guy, do you see those nail mark patterns are very similar to the nail mark patterns on this one, which is why I thought this was chert. But that's agate. That is so crazy. And this is chert. This is what I was expecting inside this one. All right, let's move on to the next one. We saved this guy for last. This thing is so interesting. When I found this, and again, I found this like years ago, I, first of all, wasn't even sure what it was back then. Now, what I'm thinking it is that red is rhyolite, and then the green is olivine or peridot, or there's another thing, I can't think of what it is, but it's also a green rock that you can find in Lake Superior, which is where I found this rock. But it is so pretty. And I think it's just begging to be cut open. I love the like contrasting between the red and the green. And I think if we can get like really good slabs out of this, they would look beautiful. So let's cut it open, see if it looks as interesting and unique on the inside as it does on the outside. Okay. For this one, I'm like, so hard to show it. I did decide to do like slabs. It looks like slabs of meat to me. I don't know, is that what it looks like to you? But I really wanted to see if that cool like green and red was all throughout the stone. And, okay, does that look cool? I feel like that looks so cool. Okay, anyways, let's take a look inside and see if it looks even cooler. Let's look at the inside. Here we go. Ooh, okay. I can see a little bit of the, oh, okay, that's pretty. That's pretty cool. Kind of more holy than I was hoping for. Let's look at this one. All right, all right. Ooh, that's kind of cool. It's like Christmas. This one. Yeah, wow, that is so much more, I mean, I guess I should have expected because the outside is pretty bumpy, but interesting. Huh, okay, okay. I mean, I guess I had a little bit more hope for this one. I still think it's cool, but I'm just not a fan of like how holy it is. Does that make sense? Ooh, see right there, that's a nice spot. And it's a little bit on this side too. We got our slabs of meat here. Okay, this angle I feel like looks a little bit better. You can see the light a little bit more on it. with that red and green. Huh, but kind of interesting. Also very, very dirty, very crumbly. Kind of made a big hot mess here. But it was fun. It was cool. All right, there you have it. That's what's inside a bunch of really weird rocks. I still am shocked by that shirt turned agate. That was crazy. And like some of the other ones were really interesting too. Like I guess I was not expecting that. So let me know what you think. If you're interested in me doing more videos like this, I have plenty of weird rocks that we can cut open. Let me know in those comments below and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.